Hey, this is a little tour of my Klein tool belts. Well, tool belt system. Basically, I pieced this together from a few different parts, but originally I got this big leather pouch off of like eBay used for like, like 20 bucks or something. And then I got this later on, and that holds miscellaneous parts and little pieces, hardware, wire nuts, and that sort of thing. And this secondary pouch could be used for like a 25-foot measuring tape, but I prefer just using like a small measuring tape while I'm on like service calls, because I don't usually have to go beyond like 10 feet to do something. So instead I have two different type of voltage testers and my little stubby screwdriver in here for really tight fits. Two different types of Klein plug-in testers. I like this one just because it gives you a good bit of information. But if you have customers and stuff who are, you're telling them about the outlets and talking with them about, hey, maybe it's wired correctly, maybe it's not, you can put this thing in, and this is a better one in my opinion for that kind of thing. And you can just plug it in and it just gives a big green, and it sort of shows you and it shows the customer like, hey, yeah, the outlet's good. Like we tested it, it's fine. Thanks, time to get paid. That kind of thing. So that's sort of, they're both useful. But basically I use this side as almost like a bit of a, like sort of like a mini office, because I use the Milwaukee ink saw. Love those markers. And then I like maybe this style of pencil. Like the flat carpenter pencils are pretty cool too, but I just like this. It just feels nice. It reminds me of like like elementary school or something. But then I also have these little mini electrician scissors, and they come in handy for like, there's a lot of times you have to like do intricate little cuts of material. These would be my drill bits. Well, drill bits and drivers and that sort of thing. But let's see what I've got. So this is DeWalt. You can pretty much just put anything into this. And these are all like impact rated, so I use these with my like little Milwaukee impact driver. I like this little tiny auger bit just because it's just big enough to like get through like 2x4s or that sort of thing when doing holes in walls and that sort of thing. Hey, you, relax. I will let you out in just a bit. So then I got the 6-inch Phillips and the 6-inch slotted or flathead. This is a 6-inch 5/16 nut driver with, like a rare earth magnet in there. And that thing's pretty cool. But I just picked this up, and it was like hella expensive. Like it was like stupid, man. It was like 25 bucks or something. But I have to say it's honestly like pretty badass, because it's got two different sizes, the two most common sizes you will need of screws. And it has this, so this is useful for basically cleaning it out, because you'll find that with other 5/16ths, you're prone to just get a ton of debris and stuff building up in there, and then it just makes it harder to have like an actually like good grip on the screw when it's kind of stripped out and that sort of thing. So boy, man, it's iffy. I mean, it was 25 bucks. Actually, I think it was probably worth it in the long run. But anyways, so I put these in this little pouch here, and I like that. Miscellaneous hardware. every now and then I'll just go out to the truck and grab like a handful of like the most essential stuff and throw it in there. And most of the time when I'm in a bind, and you know, we're working on a project and they're like, hey, you got a wire nut on you, or do you have, you know, some real obscure like item? About half the time it's a yes, like I have it right there just by having a little junk drawer. Then over to this side are the tools. So I basically kind of designed the layout of this and sort of over time of just like fidgeting with my tools constantly, sort of like a pattern emerged, and this actually works pretty darn well. Okay, so what do I have? 4 main compartments and then 2 side loop holder sort of items, and then I put this jack chain on here with a rivet, and that holds the tape. Now the front, you'll see, I love just the aesthetics of this, honestly. Like, the old leather looks really nice, and then I love all these just rivets, man. This thing just looks cool. So I have the Milwaukee Fastback. Dude, these are great, man. These are great. That's my preferred knife for pretty much every application, because you can just replace the blades. And I have to say, I like this Empire. Yeah, cause man, look at it's just like sturdy. Like, that's a lot of aluminum sitting there. So here you go. This is an item that almost nobody at my work has, but every time I pull it out, everyone says, oh, whoa, I gotta get one of those. Whoa. They're like $10 at Home Depot. It's like, come on, everyone should have one of these. Like, this is so useful to be able to get super close and tight on, you know, tight spaces. Man, that saves me in so many situations. Okay, I have to say, this is a nice tool. This is a nice tool. This Milwaukee demo driver. I'm very much a fan of this. Now, you know, I'm sort of OCD, so aesthetically, it's kind of ugly. Don't get me wrong. But functionally, it's pretty damn good, man. So I use it as just like a big prying sort of thing. And then it's got, you know, like wedge in the side, and so you can pry in a lot of situations, and you can also use it as a chisel, like knockouts and all sort of applications. I'm gonna let that cat out. Just a sec. Yeah. Get out. Okay. She is gone with the wind. But yeah, alright, now, so the 4 main compartments would be, let's see. The 4 main compartments are this one first. Got my linesman's, my needle nose, and my dikes. All Klein, and I like them all. And I replaced the grips on 2 of them with like the Klein brand Klein coat. I think that these new grips are pretty cool. So then, screwdrivers, I have, of course, my regular mag 11-in-1. I find that I love to have just a spare 5/16 with me, because that's the most common screw size I tend to find in field. And then I have these two insulated, just basic Phillips and slotted. And I love that I can have a lot of confidence on working on live circuits with insulated screwdrivers. So I liked that purchase, getting those. And then this I'm just kind of trying it out. I think it's pretty cool. I think it will kind of stay on the team, so to speak. But that would be the combination tip. So it's basically a square and a slot like that in the center. And I actually find it like pretty useful, so I'll probably keep it around. Now this is an item I haven't seen anybody else at work have, but I really like it. I find this like amazing, the Volt Claw. And so I heard about it from a channel on YouTube. But basically it's just a non-conductive tool where you can kind of reach into boxes and push boxes in. And you know, for like box makeup and that sort of thing, or like grabbing something out of a tight space when you don't know if you're working on something live or not. It's useful, like very useful. Now, I also have my collapsible drywall saw, my flashlight, and this is useful from time to time. If I drop a screw like in the grass or something, I can sometimes magnetically retrieve it. Then this last compartment is composed of, these are a hit, these strippers. Most people at my work have these. They're very useful because it's the two sizes most commonly used of Romex, 14-2 and 12-2, and you can almost always get a very clean, quick, and perfect snip to take the outer coating, you know, the insulation off of Romex. As well as, there you go, you get a 14 and a 2, and then you can bend your loops with those holes, and you can trim screws with these holes. It's a hit, and like the yellow grip looks good. I mean, yeah, rock on. Like this is a kick-ass, like this is an essential, no doubt about that. Great strippers. But of course, the only downside to me, well, it's not on them. I understand from a design standpoint why they didn't do this, but I wish they gave you an additional 16, like a 16 hole, because 12, 14, and then very often in what we do, we'll have 16, but then we won't have anything beyond that. But if they had put a 16 on this, it would basically mean that I could eliminate having to carry this second pair, because it actually has a 16 on here, and I like to just be able to do a quick little snip with my 16 and pull it off, rather than like using a knife to skin it out. Now, also another tool I really like are these Knipex Cobra pliers. They're pretty sweet, man. And it's hard to do this with one hand, but just some small little pliers that have a very large, what would I say, jaw capacity. Yeah, these are super useful to have. And so I like to have a pair that's like just about this size. I have a few other that are much larger than this, but I find that this is about the perfect size for this application because it's the same size as the strippers, and it looks good in that little corner of the bag. And then here, you want me to get even more OCD? I like it because it's red, blue, and yellow, like the traditional colors. And like the primary colors, I mean. And then I like the way that these screwdrivers just kind of sit there, and they're all about the same length, even though, of course, that small one bothers me because I wish it were just like a little bit bigger, like these other ones. But then I also like I like that my my two most commonly used pliers have like matching grips because that just looks cool together. And then I also like this bag because of sort of the symmetry of it, in the sense that on this side I have this Milwaukee like chisel driver, and then on this side I have this Milwaukee tick tracer. So it's like, yep, two like, black and red Milwaukees on the side. And overall, that would be my current lineup of tools. Other than that, I carry like a small impact driver, like a small, like a real small, compact Milwaukee impact driver, and I kind of tuck it in this pocket all the time. But yeah, I think I'm like on to a pretty damn good bag. But yeah, that's kind of my bag tour. All right, thank you for humoring me and sitting through this.